Welcome ESL to race 5 in the ESL Cup Series. We are at Atlanta and a 1.5 mile track. And you see Tyler Rogalski is on the pole. Hunter Hustis on the outside in the front row. Chester Chess, Sebastian in the second row. You got Luigi Romano and Stephen Waters in the third row. You got Lotus Lee and Evan Ethel in the fourth row, and Eric Belmont, and looks like that's James Hogan starting in the top 10 here today as we get ready for some racing. Some cars hit the track. Last week's winner, the last race winner at Martinsville was Ace Blade. So many cautions in that race. We'll see what type of race we get here today. We just had our first major progression of the season. So we'll see what teams did the right moves and putting the points in the right places. And what teams can keep the momentum going. Lost City Racing was on fire. There's those first 4 races. There's a few other teams in the mix like Northern Lights. Those teams have shown they bring fast cars to the track every race so far. As the pace car goes off onto pit road. And the green flag waves and we are on the way. Tyler Rogalski with a good jump there is in the lead. Chester Chess in second. Eustace there in a battle with Sebastian for third. Eustace on the outside, Sebastian on the inside, followed by Stephen Waters. We'll see what lane is going to be the preferred choice. Sebastian moves up to third. Now Luigi Romano takes that place. You see Emiliano in the 115. He's in the inside of Stephen Waters. Right behind him is Freddie Trammell. Freddie Trammell has seemed so far this season always kind of in the mix here in the beginning of the race. In the beginning of all the races, we're almost 3 wide. Sebastian's in the mix there. Tyler Rogalski. Now it's Chester Chess in the lead. These bonus points are extremely important here. The 8 trying to put a block on the 18. Luigi Romano on the outside there in fourth. Hunter Hustis in fifth, trying to hold off Emiliano. Stephen Waters on the outside. Then you have Freddie Trammell and Merle McGuire in that 29. If we could get a long green flag run here, who's going to have that green, that long run speed? There's James Hogan in 10th. Behind him, Brett Sawyer. Eric Belmont's there. Joe Beatty and Justin Reside battle for 13th. Lotus Lee has dropped down to 15th. Ace Blade, Martinsville's winner. On the outside of the 170, his teammate Adion Texera. There's Trent Rivera. Doug Britton's also there. The 2 of Trunyon Dunn is there. He's locked into the playoffs. The 170 almost gets into the 25. Weezy in the mix. That's where is Cuddy McGuire. He's there. Evan Ethel's there. James Belt. Mitchell O'Brien. So many cars in the mix right now. This is about mid-pack here. As we check on your leader. Chester Chess is your leader by 0.2 of a second. Not too far behind is that 43. We're only 8 laps in. Sebastian's still in the mix. You know, DLG has had their struggles, but we'll see what they can do today. So far, so good for the 8. He has the short run speed. Does he have the long run speed? Stephen Waters looks like he's going to gain another spot here. And he takes it away from Sebastian. Sebastian is in 4th. And Romano in 5th. Hunter Hustis in 6th. And Emiliano in 7th. Ron McGuire in 8th. But Chester Chess leading the way. He's had his issues too this season. So he's trying to turn things around. So far, your drivers locked into the playoffs is Ace Blade, Eric Belmont, Hunter Hustis, Trunyon Dunn. Those were your winners in the top 4 races. Well, we have a different winner today. As Stephen Waters has caught up to that 16. He's going to go into the inside here. But the 16 closes the door. And here comes the 5 in the inside as they're side by side coming out of the turn. 16 is doing a good job holding him off. As we head into turn 1, the 43 is there. It's a 3-car race right now, early on in this race. Sebastian is there in 4th. The 5 takes a peek to the inside. Nothing there. Now the 43 is going to take a peek under the 5 there. He's going to try to go into that inside. Here we go again, almost 3 wide. The 5 all over the 16. He's in the high side. Can he make the high side work? It hasn't worked so far in this race. Maybe after it gets rubbered in, there might be a lane out there. But right now, that outside lane just doesn't seem to have that speed. The 43 of Rogalski still in there. Sebastian, a close 4th. Then you have Luigi Romano there in 5th. And Emiliano in 6th. So 1 through 6 only separated by a few tenths of a second. And here comes the 5. Another battle here for the lead. Now he has an opening. Can he make it work? Well, we talked about it before. That outside line is not super fast. But some drivers seem to be holding their own out there. As they get very close to each other as they come out of turn 4. And the 16 doing a great job of holding off the 5. Oglesby still in third. Sebastian in fourth. Romano in fifth. The 5 back to the bumper of the 16. He takes a dive to the inside. And they're side by side once again, going around 1 and 2. This has been a great battle here for the lead. Chester Chest still in the lead. The 5 in second, the 43 in third. Once again, the 5 takes a look to the inside. Can he take the lead this time around? And it looks like he is going to take the lead finally away from the 16. Now it's Stephen Waters in control of this race. It took a few laps, but he made it work. We talked about it a few laps back. Who's going to have the long run speed? It's Sebastian. He is still in fourth, holding his own. That car seems to have gotten a lot better after the last progression there. As he battles the 43 for third. There's Brett Sawyer. He's moving on up. As he's in the outside of the 77. As all these cars are battling for position. Joe Beatty's there in 8th. As we're almost 3 wide. Close. The 31 thought about it. It's going to be a little harder making these passes. We're already a little over 20 laps in. It's going to start getting tricky as those tires, as the track starts to get a little slick with those tires, less grip. There's the 119 of Ace Blade currently in 9th. Then you have Eric Belmont and his teammate Chunjin Dunn, 10th and 11th. Doug Britton. He has been in the top 10, I think, in all the races so far this season. He's just shown consistent speed. He hasn't won a race, but he's been so consistent so far. And that's what you want. If you want to get into the playoffs, if you can't get in by a win, you want to get in by points. In order to get in by points, you just have to be consistent every race, even if you don't have the best finish. There's Hunter Hustis, Eweezy, 13th and 14th. Eweezy goes to the inside. Looks like he's going to make the pass here. Inside line is still pretty dominant. And Freddie Trammell in 15th. Earl McGuire in 16th. They've fallen back a little bit. They showed great speed early on. There's James Hogan currently in 20th. As we go a little farther back in the field, behind him is Gunny McGuire. As we check on your leader of Stephen Waters, still in control. Almost 4/10 of a second. Can he continue to pull away from the 16 of Chester Chess? We're looking at about 60 laps on fuel. Well, between, I would say 45 to 60 laps, roughly. It depends if we get any cautions. But tire wear is going to be, you know, if we go 50, 60 laps on fuel, that tire wear is going to be very bad at that point. So they might come in a little earlier. But can Chester Chess close in on the 5? It's been smooth sailing so far compared to our last race at Martinsville. It was pretty chaotic. But we're almost 30 laps into this run. And some cars have shown a lot of speed at this point, and some has definitely faded back. As the 8 of Sebastian is down to 9th already, and it make that 10th because Weezy is going to go right on by. So that tire wear is starting to become a factor to some of these cars. Doug Britton's trying to move up to 11th. There's Ace Blade, Luigi, a battle for 8th. Luigi right behind Ace Blade. Trunjan is there in the outside. There's Stefan Forge currently in 15th. You know, we're going to start getting to the point that we start to get pretty close to it of you're going to have to make less and less mistakes in order to keep close to making the playoffs. It's the top 16, and 4 spots are already taken because we've had different winners in each race. So right now these drivers are battling for 12 positions. And by looking at the cut line, let me pull this up. That cut line is pretty tight. You have Mason Stonewall is on that cut line. Rhett Sawyer's there. Emiliano 18th. 80 and 19th. James Hogan 20th. Tyler Rogalski, he's 21st. So all those drivers are close to that cut line. As we go back to your leader of Stephen Waters. Half-second lead. As we're getting close to the halfway point of this race. And once the 5 took over the lead, he has been in control ever since. Chester Chess doesn't seem like he has anything left. Maybe he used up his tires in that battle. But the 5 from Racing Legends continues to seem like he's getting faster. He would love to lock himself into the playoffs. but he is showing a lot of speed here today. And I think that's what a lot of teams want to see. They want to see how did their progressions make out, how much speed did they gain from the fourth to the fifth race? Because there is only one more major progression left. And if you're not doing so well, you're gonna want to know what you're gonna do once we hit that next progression. And the caution is out as the flagman was waving the yellow. So our first caution of the day, as you see the pace car quickly trying to get onto the track. We'll see what triggered that caution, but we'll see who's going to go on pit road. And it's probably going to be everyone. Look at all those skid marks. It looks like it could have been a pretty major wreck there. We're going to have to check. We'll check right after these pit stops, as everyone is going on to pit road. And look at the 6 all smashed up, Mason Stonewall. So he was definitely involved in that wreck. The one at Odeon is on pit road with some damage. 15 to 48. Oh man, a lot of cars were involved in this. We'll see who comes out of pit road first. This is going to be a very important pit stop here, because if we don't have another caution or pit stops, this could be the race. As a 5 comes out of first. Rhett Sawyer moves up to second. And Beatty third. Emiliano fourth. Stefan Ford's fifth. Rhett Sawyer with a great pit stop. The 99 almost gets into the 18 there. So Stephen Waters came onto pit road first, came out first. Great pit stop by that team. Pit stops matter. Those pit crews, if you got consistent pit crew and they're pretty fast, when you have the lead, you don't want to lose positions. And the 5 team took care of him and put him back out on the lead. And Rhett Sawyer, he jumped a few spots there, as well as Beatty. But let's see. Let's take a look and find out what happened in that wreck and what caused that wreck. It looks like it's going to be between a 77 and a 48. So 48, gets into him there. And the 48 goes down the track and gets hit by the 15. Took a shot by the 190. The 25 barely escapes, and the 6. That's why the 6 was on pit road. The 38, the 27, the 20, the 11. What a wreck. Let's put this in slow motion here. The 48 is on the left rear there. Oh, it looks like he tags him just a little bit. The 77 looks okay. He probably has some damage. But the 48 is sliding down onto the track, and these cars are racing to the green. The 15 clips him. The 190 head on. And he's just tumbling around. The 25, he gets some of it. The 6 head on to the 48. Took a shot. The 1 of Odeon gets crunched there. The 11 of Ty Bird. The 20 of Tyler Commander. William Thompson in the mix there. Brogan as well. Crazy wreck. Let's ride on board the 6. because he gave him a shot. Let's take a look here. You see all that smoke ahead. Sheesh. He was trying to find somewhere to go. That was a wild wreck for sure. So many cars involved. So many cars probably out of the race. You got the 1, Odeon, the 6, Mason, the 190, Hogan, 25 Lotus Lee, Freddie Trammell. Once again, this car always shows some speed. And it's like something happens to the 48. Like either a wreck or something mechanical. Something happens to that 48. Hopefully, this will be the last of it for him for this season. He could just have a clean race because it just seems like something happens to that 48. The 15 was involved, the 27, the 11, the 38. I think the 7 was involved too. He hit the wall. So now that shakes up things quite a bit. You got the 5. He is your leader. You got Doug Brayton in 10th, Sebastian 9th, Weezy 8th. That's towards the back of the top 10 there. As we get it back to racing. And the green flag goes, and here we go at Atlanta. Everyone probably could make it to the end here unless they run out of fuel, which that is a possibility. Rhett Sawyer is in second. What can Rhett Sawyer do in that Pontiac U.S. Army Pontiac here? Your current top 10. Stephen Waters. Rhett Sawyer in second. Joe Beatty third. Emiliano fourth. Stefan Forge fifth. Eric Belmont sixth. Weezy seventh. Well, now we're showing Stefan Forge at eighth. Sebastian ninth. And the 119 rounds out your top 10. But what can that 01 do? The 5 has been very strong. What adjustments did these teams make on that pit stop? There's a 115. Currently in third. We have a battle here for fourth. Weezy in the inside. Yes, he gets very close to that bumper. Some of these drivers are not afraid to move cars out the way. We've seen that happen in the past. But the 12 is being smart. He's using that 16 to draft to get a little bit momentum. And now he looks like he's going to make the pass. He's getting a push by the 9 of Eric Belmont. Stefan Forge is there. Beatty's there. Forge is trying to gain a position, as well as Ace Blade. He's trying to stay in that top 10. The 88, Justin Reeside. He's there. Ani is there as well as his teammate, Trunyon Dunn. Gunny McGuire is there. So we check on the leader. Still about not even 0.2 of a second. Well, now it's 0.2 of a second. Their fastest lap so far in this race. If you look at just the standings there, 1 through 10, E-Weezy with the fastest lap in the race. Ani in second, Reside in third. Trunyan is now in fifth. Rhett Sawyer sixth, Waters seventh, Gunny McGuire eighth, Emiliano ninth, and Doug Britton 10th. These are your top 10 drivers with the fastest lap. Now it's Eric Belmont with the fastest lap. As E-Weezy has moved his way up to third, he is showing some speed after that pit stop. As we are getting close to 50 laps in. As we see William Thompson up ahead. And the 12 dives in. It is going to take that spot away from the 01. And here comes Eric Belmont. He wants some of the action. He wants to take away a spot from Sawyer. Emiliano wants another spot as well as Rhett Sawyer settles into third. There's William Thompson, no hood on that car. He was involved in that major wreck. And the 12, he looks to the inside as he's going to try to make a pass on the 5. They're side by side going into the turn. This is going to be a great battle here for the lead. This 5 has not let up this race. And it looks like the 12 is going to make the pass here as the 5 gets a little loose on exit. And now it's Rhett Sawyer trying to regain a spot. Trying to regain second as E-Weezy takes the lead for the first time today. The top 6 are separated by 0.2, about 0.4 of a second, which isn't much. Chester Chess, he takes a look to the inside of Beatty. He's going to make a pass. Yes, he is in 6. Ooh, and a 9 and 01 almost made contact. That was very close. Could have been disastrous. E-Weezy in control so far. A 115 and a 16 going at it for 5th. Behind them is Ace Blade, Justin Reside, Joe Beatty. And if we stay green the rest of the way, which cars are going to fade? And what cars are going to get stronger? As Waters and Sawyer continue to battle, but all this is doing is helping the 12 of E-Weezy pull away. You don't want to battle too long because right now you're already looking at a second lead for the 12. Finally, it seems like the 5 gets away from the 01. And the 12, whatever changes they made to that car after that pit stop have worked. So it's already 1.2 second lead. Those cars battling too helped them out a lot to pull away. But can he maintain this lead? Did he save tire? Tires are very important. You gotta save some tires Because if you burn them up too quick, you're going to lose a lot of pace. Look at Ace Blade. He has moved up to fourth. Justin Reside to fifth. Ace Blade won at Martinsville. He wants to keep the momentum going. Right behind him is the 88 of Justin Reside. I think this is right now, if he were to finish in fifth, that's going to be his best finish of the season. Right behind him is Eric Belmont, another driver that's locked into the playoffs. Reside and Blade side by side. Whatever adjustments they made to that 88 after, during the progression period, it worked. I mean, he's running top five. Actually, he's in fourth now. And some drivers are just built to be better at specific tracks as well. So there's a lot of variables that go into this, You could have a great consistent driver, but what is his specialty track? Is it a speedway? Is it a super speedway? Is it a road course? Is it a short track? Is he kind of a balanced driver? So some drivers might be extremely fast on a 1.5, and then when we hit a short track, they're not going to have that speed they had before if their driver's not built for that. So there's a lot of things to consider when you're making a driver. It's Justin Reside trying to get into third. The 77 is a lapped car, so he got in the way there. That could open the door for the 88. Here comes a battle here for fourth as Ace Blade is in the inside. We're about a little over 20 laps into this run, so tire wear once again is going to play a major role here. That's E-Weezy right now. He is on cruise control. Almost a 2-second lead over the 5 of Stephen Waters. It's been a great race. Just one caution so far. Let me not say that too loud. You see the 20th Tyler Commander, he was involved in that wreck. So the 12 is going to have to deal with him as his lead is over 2 seconds over Stephen Waters. And Reside takes a look to the inside. Reside is showing a lot of speed here today, especially late in this race. The 5 is trying to hold on to second. But it looks like that 5 used up everything he had in the early run after the pit stops. And Justin Reside, he moves up to second. Does he have enough to catch the 12? Because right now, he is putting together some great laps. And we look at the fastest lap, and it is Reside, 28.783. And then you got Eric Belmont and E-Weezy. Those are your top 3 cars with the fastest lap. So there is a chance that 88 could close in, but he's going to have to work quick because the laps are winding down pretty fast already. Weezy with a 2-second lead over the 88. He's looking to lock himself in the playoffs. And if he wins, that'll be your 5th different race winner this season. Now, we haven't had not one mechanical failure yet, which is great. As we continue to progress, cars will get a little bit more durable. Teams will invest on making their car more reliable as well. So you'll see less and less. Doesn't mean we might not get any. But so far today, we haven't had not one. That's a sigh of relief for a lot of teams. You don't want to be the leader and have something happen or having a good run like we saw a lot in the first 4 races. The reside back 2.3 seconds now. Brett Sawyer, he's in 3rd. Eric Belmont in 4th. Ace Blade there in 5th. Chester Chess having a great run in 7th. Make that 6th. And Stephen Waters, he has faded big time after being in control early on in this race. After that pit stop, he was still showing a lot of speed, but I'm not sure what happened. After those 20 laps or so, his car really started to fade. Not sure if he just raced too hard. You see Emiliano there in 8th. Doug Britton, it looks like he's going to get another top 10 here today. He is just so consistent. Your drivers with the most top 10s is Doug Britton and Stephen Waters. They've had a top 10 in every race. So those 2 drivers are extremely consistent, and they're both in the picture right now. There's Gunny McGuire. He's trying to pass the 2 of Trunnion Dunn. Ani's there. Beatty's there. Ani's having a solid run. This might be his best finish of the season. I think there was a few races he got caught up in some wrecks and stuff like that. But again, a lot of teams, they just invested the points in the right place. But for the teams that haven't fared so well, we still have one more major progression. And I think there's like 4 races, if I'm not mistaken, before the playoffs after that major progression. So after the second major progression, we have 4 races and then it's the playoffs. So that second major progression, even if you're not doing well in the points, you're going to have 4 races to try to win a race and get in. Or just have 4 great point races and hope those drivers ahead of you just either get involved in wrecks or just have all types of issues in 4 races, and you might be able to sneak in. So if you're not doing well now, don't think that your season is over. You still have opportunities. Because in those 4 races, we go to Bristol. A lot can happen at Bristol. Charlotte, mile and a half, New Hampshire, and the Auto Club. Auto Club is a very fast track, so a lot can happen there. Weezy in full of control of this race. 2.5 second lead over Justin Reside. That's in second. Eric Belmont has moved up to third. Ace Blade in fourth. And Rhett Sawyer having a solid run in the top five. I think you have 3 Northern Lights racing cars in the top 10. So they brought some fast cars straight out the holler onto this track. Chester Chess having a great run as well in 6th. This is good for this team of Extreme Racing because it's going to give them a little momentum, and it's like, okay, we're starting to show signs of having speed and keeping up with these other fast teams, and that's what you want. Just want to see where you at. Because that means your team is headed in the right direction. So we'll go back to the leader of Weezy as he rounds the turn. And we're going to have 2 laps to go. This car has been on rails after that pit stop. Because that lead is almost 3 seconds. It's getting close. But that caution gave this team a break. Because I think when that caution happened, he was like 10th or 11th. There's a white flag waves last lap here at Atlanta. It's just 12 of Weezy. He's looking to get his first victory of the season as he exits 4. Weezy wins at Atlanta Speedway, locks himself into the playoffs, and gives Low Fuel Racing their first win of the season. A lot of firsts for that 12 team. But a heck of a run after that pit stop. That car, like I said, was on rails after that. And that battling after he took the lead just helped him a lot to really pull away. If it wasn't for that battling, I think Reside would have been a way closer because that car was showing a ton of speed. As everyone heads on to pit road, we'll do a rundown of the results for this race. As we wait for everyone to come on to pit road here. But let's do the rundown. Weezy wins the race, locks himself in. Justin Reside, his best race of the season. In second, the 9 of Eric Belmont. Once again, he shows what he can do. He's been consistent all season so far. Finishes in third today. Ace Blade, Martinsville winner. In fourth, Rhett Sawyer. I'm not sure if this is his best finish. If it's not, it's close. Top 5 for him today. Stephen Waters in 6. Another solid car. He's been in the top 10 the whole season. So look out for that 5. The 16 of Chester Chess in 7th. Doug Britton, another car that's been in the top 10 all season. Those are 2 cars we're going to keep our eye out for the season. He finished in 8th. The 02 of Gunny McGuire. Finally, a clean race for this car from the Brew Crew. Here he shows what he can do. He's in the top 10, finished in ninth. Trunyan Dunn, he's already locked in. He won a race today. He's shown some speed this season. He rounds out your top 10. And 11th, the 23 of Ani. Clean race, finishes in 11th. The 115 Emiliano finishes in 12th. The 31 of Joe Beatty had a solid run in 13th. Burl McGuire in 14th. The 170 of Adian, he finishes in 15th. The 18 finishes 16th. And that's Hunter Houston from Racing Legends. He's locked in. 83 of Evan Ethel, 17th. Mitchell O'Brien from 307 Motorsports finishes in 18th. The 19 finishes 19th. The 32 finishes in 20th. Javier finishes in 21st. That's the 7. The 24 of James Belt finished 22nd. Stefan Forge, he was like running top 15, almost top 10. He really faded after that pit stop. Finished 23rd. The 17 of Robert Crown in 24th. The 8 of Sebastian. That car showed speed. So I feel like this team is getting close because he was hanging in there for a good portion of the race in the beginning. So that's a good sign for that team. I know they're going to continue to work, continue to get better. He finished 25th. The 99 of Trent Rivera, 26. The 43 of Tyler Rogelski. Not sure what happened to that 43, but he fell way off after that pit stop. Uh, Thomas Noble, the 30, finished 28th. The 4th of Matt Jones finished 29th. The 20 of Tyler Commander finished 30th. The 77 of Luigi, 31st. The 38 of William Thompson finished 32nd. The 11 of Ty Bird finished 33rd. All these cars were involved in that major wreck. The 27 of Brogan, 34th. The 15 of Christo Rowe, he finished 35th. The 48 of Freddie Trammell, 36th. Lotus Lee in 37th. He was involved in the wreck. The 190, so many cars were involved in that wreck. The 190, James Hogan in 38th. The 6 of Mason Stonewall in 39th. And the 1 of Odeon rounds out your field. We're going to take a look at the fastest speeds here. This just gives you an idea of, where are you as far as in a mile and a half? How fast can your car get? I mean, this is the fastest lap. It's not it's not consistent. Like it's not showing you your average. That's what you kind of want. But at least just by looking at this, you can be like, oh wow, like I'm in the top 10 with the fastest lap. That shows you that you do have some speed. But Justin Reside, he was first. Eric Belmont second. Eweezy third. Uh, the 16 was fourth. The 31 of Beatty. 18 Houston. 6 Ani seventh. Uh, the 32 of Ace Howard eighth. Mitchell O'Brien ninth. And Chunji Dunn 10th. So these are your fastest laps here. I'll scroll through real quick so everyone could kind of see where they fell here as far as fastest laps go. That's your field right there for the fastest lap. As I take a look at the schedule here, next race is Michigan. We're going to even a more faster track, 2 mile track. We're going from 1.5 mile to a 2 mile. Then we go to Richmond, a night race. It's 3/4 of a mile track. So some short track racing. And for Richmond, only 39 cars make the field. And I will let you guys know who didn't make the field. Um, but one car does not make the field. You really don't want to be the car that does not make the field, especially if you're fighting for your playoff life. That will hurt very bad. That's 0 points. Then we go to our first road course of the season. Um, and I feel like that's going to be a huge race because everyone's going to be battling. And that's the only road course before the playoffs. So if you're a strong driver, if you built your driver to be strong for a road course, this could be your opportunity to win a race um, and lock yourself in. And it might be your only opportunity. So then we have our major progression. Then we go to Bristol, Charlotte, New Hampshire, New Hampshire Auto Club, and then a playoff start. And there's no more progressions after the next major progression. There is no more progressions. It's just straight racing the rest of the way. Um, Owners do have bank points that they could use between race 9 and 12. So, but there's not a lot of points, so everyone doesn't get points. Um, so that's what it's looking like. It's been a fun season so far. Looking forward to how this really shakes out. Um, but there's a lot of great racing ahead. Like always, thank you for supporting the league and the stream. I'll see you guys next time.